Kulttuurikulmassa tutustumme tänään amerikkalaiseen poliittiseen satiiriin. Pääkaupunkiseudulla alkoi eilen uutta kokeellista teatteria esittelevä festivaali Teatteri Nyt. Ja yksi festivaalin kansainvälisistä vieraista on teksasilainen ryhmä Rude Mechanicals.
Tässä on paikallaan pieni varoituksen sana. Ohjelmassa nähtävät esitysnäytteet sisältävät osin aika roisia kieltä.
Oh yeah, Operation Enduring Freedom is in the house. Oh yeah, Operation Enduring Our Freedom is in the motherfucking house. Yes, Operation Enduring Our Freedom, the bomb the living fuck out of you is in the house.
Are the bombs that we've been dropping in Afghanistan for the past 4 weeks fucking hollow? After 4 weeks of bombing, I don't like the idea of people still walking around Afghanistan. I expect some motherfuckers to be good and dead after 4 weeks.
2 words, my friend. Fucking invincible.
That was a little example of today's cutting-edge political theater in the US. Cartoon-based play Get Your War On by a theater ensemble Rude Mechanicals from Austin, Texas. And this play will be literally in the house at Espoo Cultural Center tonight and on 2 more nights this week. I've got 2 members of Rude Mechs here in the studio with me today, actress Ms. Lana Leslie and director Ms. Sean Sides. You're most warmly welcome.
Thank you.
And welcome to Finland. How's the jet lag?
We're a little
Strong, it's going strong.
It's going strong.
We're a little zombie-ish.
Okay, well, to put it in a nutshell, could I say that Rude Mechanicals with Get Your War On is like Michael Moore Goes Theater?
I would be so honored if you said that.
Yes.
That would be great.
Please say that.
Okay. But in a few words, what kind of group and what kind of a performance are we talking about?
Rude Mechanicals is we're an ensemble theater company. We're a collective. We make all of our plays are original works. Often we create them from scratch or we adapt something that already exists in the world. Typically we don't do political theater, although there are a lot of politics inside of our works. This is our first time to do straight up political theater for the stage by adapting David Rees's comic strip.
So, what made this time so special? Why did you want to tackle this subject now?
Well, it was the salad days, the Clinton years, when we first started our company. We never knew how glorious they might look. But after, it was really Bush's re-election that it just kind of put us over the edge. And we never planned to make a big fancy production out of this play, or we didn't have ambition to tour. We feel so honored and lucky that we got to, but we just needed to say these things when we first made it in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
2005. Mm-hmm. So that was the impetus. We'd been looking at it before, and we always thought, oh yeah, that would be kind of fun. But you know, it was really kind of a side project almost, because we were working on the things that take us, 6 weeks to build or 10 weeks to build, and have much bigger budgets. But this one kind of came from the heart. So.
Bombing in Afghanistan continues.
Will you fucking hurry up and kill Osama bin Laden, for fuck's sake? Jesus Christ, how can I put this? You hit me bombing for 2 fucking months. What the fuck size bombs do you need?
Serious. It's like an American bombing campaign is the elixir of eternal life for despots.
It's loyal to the cartoon, to the original cartoon.
It's very
and it's really based on this cartoon by David Rees, cartoon called Get Your War On with the same name. So, Lana, what kind of cartoon is it?
It is what David Rees is doing with this cartoon. It's a political cartoon. It's a political satire, and it's his personal reaction to all of the events post 9/11, Bush administration debacles. It's one after the other. So David Rees started writing the comic strip pretty much at his desk when he was working a different job, and it was just his way of sort of dealing with what was happening as a New Yorker right after 9/11. And he showed it to some friends, and they were like, you should publish this. And so he did start putting it up on the internet, and it sort of started to catch, to gain some sort of underground popularity as people there was no other voice of dissent anywhere in America right after 9/11. There was no one looking at the administration critically. Everybody just sort of raised a flag and, you know, supported whatever the Bush administration decided to do, and Giuliani, like, especially. So for those of us who were feeling not necessarily supportive of invading Afghanistan and then going on to Iraq, we didn't have any outlet for that, anyone to communicate those feelings with. So finding his strip and being able to commiserate that way with these characters, these flat, two-dimensional, generic clip art office worker characters, I think, which is the genius of his strip, that he can place all of this invective on these flat characters, so that you can infuse them with your own feelings and your own reactions as a reader. That was one of the things that we actually tried to stay true to as we were creating the play.
But the whole idea of making a play out of cartoon, and especially out of this kind of cartoon clip art thing, it's just wild. I mean, tell me about the process of bringing a cartoon to the stage.
Well, when we first started, you know, we usually are a fairly experimental company, and we invest a lot in what I earlier called the sort of artistic thesis behind the work. I just coined that.
You did.
Sounds good.
Thanks. So we wanted to do something with it. So we tried. Oh, we tried just everything. We are the actors, you know, sort of did it with dolls. And then they did it, you know, on microphones from off stage. And then I think we did a version where it was just everybody sitting as if they're you know, like, let's make them characters, and it's an office, and it was just horrible.
Wretched.
Like, everything we tried was either, you know, like arty, or was the most dreadful sitcom you've ever seen. So we finally just, you know, just kind of be like the clip art, just be fairly flat. We came upon the overhead projectors, which is a device that David Reese uses when he tours, when he lectures. And we started out with just one.
You started up with one and ended up with, what, 4 or 5, and that's why he envies you. That's what I heard, yeah.
President Bush had whatever Stephen Hawking has, and he couldn't speak right because his face was all froze up and drooly, and he rolled around D.C. in a motorized wheelchair with Condoleezza Rice feeding him oatmeal. Then I wouldn't care how he talked!